Hi, welcome to another riveting edition of Hitting Ahead by Hymn Book. In this particular series, we're taking the time to look at some of the grand old hymns that have come from the hymnal. I've already shared with you in a previous episode, and you go back and listen and re-listen, my harrowing experience of almost being hit in the head, destroyed by a hymnal as a much younger man, the impact that had on my life. And then we're looking at these grand and glorious hymns of old, and of course I'm wrapping it up by sharing some time singing with you, and hopefully you're singing along with me in the computer. Today, we look at the grand old hymn, I Am Thine, O Lord. The phrase says, I am thine, O Lord, I've heard thy voice, and it told thy love to me. But I long to rise in the arms of faith and be closer drawn to thee. And in the chorus, draw me nearer, 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 blessed Lord, to the cross where thou hast died. Draw me nearer, 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 blessed Lord, to thy precious bleeding side. An amazing hymn, and I look forward to singing it for you here in just a few minutes and performing it for you. But it was written by the Queen of American hymn writers. She's called the mother of congregational singing in America. She lived to the ripe old age of 95. Her name was Fanny Crosby. She wrote over 8,000 hymns. In addition, she was one of the most prominent evangelical leaders in America. In the 1800s, along with D.L. Moody and Ira Sankey, she was one of America's most popular preachers and lecturers. And in many cases, people would circle the block when she was scheduled to speak, hoping to get a seat in whatever arena she was speaking in. When she traveled, it was usually by train, and she was fiercely independent, insisted on traveling alone, although she was legally blind. And until she was in her 80s, she traveled by herself despite that blindness. Fanny lived in a rundown tenement in Lower Manhattan, so she could be close to the beloved rescue missions where she worked with the homeless and the addicted. To me, the most remarkable thing about Fanny Crosby was her phenomenal memory. After her eyes were blinded in infancy, her grandmother, Eunice, took a special interest in teaching Fanny Bible verses. Later, a woman by the name of Mrs. Hawley, the Crosby's landlady, took over the job. And she was committed to helping Fanny memorize the entire Bible. Every week, Fanny Crosby was given a certain number of chapters to learn, and Mrs. Hawley would drill them into her during their review sessions together. She learned by heart all of Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. Imagine that. And then she also learned from heart all 4 Gospels, most of the Psalms, all of the Proverbs, and then other major sections of the rest of the Bible. From that fountainhead of knowledge flowed these scriptures. And from that fountainhead of knowledge and scripture flowed the hymns that she would write. Ira Sankey, in his autobiography, gives us the story behind the hymn, I Am Thine, O Lord. Fanny Crosby was visiting Mr. W.H. Doane at his home in Cincinnati, Ohio. They were walking and talking together about the nearness of God as the sun was setting and evening shadows were beginning to gather around them. The subject so impressed the well-known hymn writer that before retiring that evening, she had written the words to this hymn, which has become one of the more memorable hymns that she has ever written. The music that Mr. Doane added so fitted the words that the hymn became a special favorite wherever gospel hymns are sung and known to this day. It was first published, by the way, in 1875, and the little hidden treasure of hymns called Brightest and Best. And underneath the hymn, they added this scripture quotation, let us draw near with a true heart, Hebrews 10:22. I am thine, O Lord. It is that desire to draw nearer and nearer to God. And so what I'd like to do right now is I'd like for you to just sit back and relax, allow me to sing this to you. It comes from my heart. The tune probably will fall apart just a little bit. The notes I'm not going to hit quite right, but you understand it's a song of worship and praise. And I want to do that for you as we wrap up this edition. Hold on just a second. They're telling me from behind the camera we're out of time, and so we're not going to be able to include the singing portion of this episode. I'm sorry about that. You can hum the hymn for yourself Hopefully we'll have time to get the song in next time. I look forward to joining you next time. Get hit in the head with a hymnal.